If I restarted my videography journey all over again in 2025, there are a few things that I would do to get myself to the professional level as fast as possible. So here's everything that I would do to avoid all the beginner mistakes. Firstly, I would not worry about what gear I'm using. I get this question the most in my DMs, in my comments, people asking what gear I would recommend them. Unfortunately, I'm not able to answer everybody's questions, so this is how I break it down for myself. Can I afford it, and does it suit my needs? For example, if I'm gonna go buy a new lens, I have to ask myself, can I really buy this lens with the money that I have, and does it do something that I can't already achieve with the gear that is already available to me? Just as a reference point, any interchangeable lens camera made in the last 4 to 5 years will probably be more than enough for you, and I would get a zoom lens that probably has an aperture of f4 or f2.8. We'll cover what those numbers mean in just a minute. The thing about gear is that when used properly, good gear can take you really far. However, if you don't know how to use it, good gear can also be the biggest waste of money for you. A lot of people think that good gear will just automatically make their work good. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. Just as much as a 4K gaming monitor doesn't make you better at Call of Duty, a 4K camera doesn't make you better at videography. At the end of the day, videography, as well as any creative field, is a skill that you need to develop with time, practice, and knowledge. So let's cover the knowledge that you absolutely need to know to elevate your skills and expertise. Now, just as a disclaimer, I won't be covering all the details in today's video or else it will turn into an hour-long lecture, but I will be covering all the basics to give you a knowledge base that you can then build on your own. If you want me to make a more in-depth video diving into any of these topics, then leave them in the comments and I got you. With that being said, there are two major components to making a video: shooting and editing. Now, shooting mastery comes from a fluency of three things: exposure, focus, and framing or composition. Exposure is broken down into three in-camera settings, best learned through the exposure triangle. Each of these settings control how bright the image will be, and one other setting. Shutter speed also controls how much motion blur you have in the shot. Aperture also controls how blurry your background can get to separate your subject. And ISO is artificial brightness that also adds more grain the higher up you go. Understanding how your camera reacts to light and how to use it will be some of the most beneficial information that you will learn early on. If you are able to master this, you can adapt to any lighting condition and be a much more versatile videographer. For focus, you can use auto or manual focus. If you have a newer camera that has quick autofocus, there's nothing wrong in using it. However, if you have something older and is a little slower, I do recommend using manual focus so that you can be in control of what the camera is focusing on. Lastly, framing. Framing is basically just choosing how to position your subject in your shot. And you can vary the composition of the shot by zooming in or out to make your subject fill less or more of the screen. You also don't have to have your subject in the middle of the screen like I am right now. You can have it to the left, to the right, but the middle is the most common way to do it. There's a lot of room for creativity in your framing. Some people only shoot wide shots, and some people only like zoomed in ISO shots. How you compose your shot is completely dependent on your preferences and your vision for the video, as well as the gear and the stuff that you have available to you. Now let's move on to editing the video after you've shot it. Because of course, shooting a video is only half the battle. Putting it together and making a finished product is a task all on its own. So let's once again break it down into pieces so that you have everything you need to edit your first video together. Choosing a software to work on is completely up to the user and their preferences. Some of the popular ones that are out right now though are Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and CapCut. If you are a complete beginner, I actually do recommend CapCut. It is free, it is powerful, and it has more than enough tools to help you produce your first few videos. Now, once you've opened your software and imported all your footage, it is time to cut the video together. Figure out how to do one thing. For example, how to split a video clip in half or how to add text. Be comfortable with that process and then move on to the next thing. These softwares can really be overwhelming, and if you try to learn the entire thing at once, you really just won't remember any of it. Now, a couple tips for new editors: learn your software's shortcuts. And you can also add any that make sense for you. At some point in your career, you just won't want to be staring at a screen all day trying to edit clips together, so shortcuts is the way to become more efficient with it. There are also plenty of resources online for certain effects or different editing tricks. If you decide to follow any of these, please try to understand why the tutorial chooses the steps that they do and how each step affects the video. This way, you are able to apply the knowledge to similar needs in the future, and the knowledge builds on itself. So now that you have a solid knowledge base, let's talk about how to use it in practice. Practicing videography is just like any creative skill, as I've said before. It takes a lot of reps to be comfortable with your production quality, and it takes even more reps to be sure that you can uphold that quality when dealing with things like harsh light or client pressure. With that being said, there are some reps that are more valuable to you as a beginner than others. So let's talk about how to practice efficiently and effectively. Recreation, in my opinion, is the best way to practice your technical skills for a couple of reasons. For one, if you see a video or a scene that you want to recreate, you already know what the final product can look like. So when you produce your own version of it, you can do a side-by-side comparison to see how accurate your version is to the original. And sometimes you can find explanation videos or behind-the-scene videos from the original creators that explains how they achieved the things that they did. This method pushes you to grow your technique because you're able to find inspiration and use that as a goal to work towards. It is by far the most productive way to practice. Now, outside of that, if you want to stay original and still practice your creativity, I would suggest to stay within your niche that you are interested in. If your end goal is to produce videos about nature and birds, then making a high school basketball mixtape really isn't in your best interest. And this may be common sense to some creators, but I've seen a lot of people complain about why they aren't getting better at making sports cinematic videos when all they make is vlogs. You need to practice what you want to produce in the future. Now, once you've established a solid quality of work and assembled a small portfolio, you can start to gain clients and make money with your camera. If you have a good product and people see you out there working, they will literally just come up to you and try to tap in with you, especially if you are in sports. Literally, if you just make one good video for your friend on the basketball team, 3 others may come around and try to ask for the same thing, and you can charge them $20 to $30. And just like that, one free video has made you almost $100. Social media is literally just a networking farm. If you produce a video for your friend on the basketball team and he ends up posting it, his teammates will see it, his opponents will see it, everybody in the league will see it, coaches will see it, and they will all try to tap in with you if they like your work. Once you have too many people asking for a video at your price range, you can increase your price. Please don't be scared to increase your price. The best freelancing advice that I've ever heard for myself is if you double your price and half your clients leave, you still make the same amount of money with half the work. People will come back if your quality is good, but everything stems from the quality of your work. People just don't pay a lot of money for a mid or bad video. So keep your people happy by cooking up some bangers, and they are sure to refer you to their friends. And the final thing on networking is it is also a good idea to work with other experienced people in your area. If you can collaborate with other creators in your area, absolutely do it. Make a video together, post it on Instagram, tag both of your accounts, and both of your portfolios will get boosted. These are also the people that can refer you jobs when they themselves can't take it, so it is absolutely a good idea to tap in with them. And just like that, you have everything you need to get started in your videography journey. Please remember that this is not going to happen overnight. It is a skill and a business that you need to develop. Just owning a camera won't make you better, and in order to be great in this space, you need consistency and a level head. You will get hate comments, and you will produce videos that you may not be too proud of, but that is all part of the journey. I swear that if you don't give up, there's more than enough room for you at the top to eat at the table. So if you have any other questions about the space, leave them down in the comments below. If you want to learn more about media, video, photo, any of that, I will be answering all your questions, so subscribe so you don't miss any of that, and I'll catch you in the next one.